แล้วเราตรงนี้มาสนุกมาประกอบกัน
To learn the history, art and culture of Thailand.
สนับสนุนส่งเสริมให้ครูบาอาจารย์นะครับทำงานวิจัยและมีผลงานทางวิจัยออกมาเผยแพร่อันที่สองก็คือเราจะต้องเตรียมความพร้อมนะครับสำหรับการที่เพราะฉะนั้นเราเนี่ยครับเป็นสิ่งซึ่งมหาวิทยาลัยบุรพาจำเป็นที่จะต้องปรับในการยุทธศาสตร์ในการพัฒนาการสร้างบัณฑิตของเรานะครับให้สอดคล้องและก็รองรับกับการเปิดเขตการค้าเสรีเรื่องที่3ของยุทธศาสตร์มหาวิทยาลัยก็คือการเน้นในสิ่ง
Welcome you all to this yearly conference organized by Burapha University, and the conference title is BUU 2014 or Burapha University International Conference. And this year, the conference is co-organized by Burapha University itself and the network called Higher Education Development and Eastern Network of Thailand, whereby many universities in the eastern part of the country collaborated academically to strengthen the research and academics. So the missions of this conference is strive to bring this year the latest works from all over ASEAN, from all over the world to this academic forum. So we encourage the creation of friendships and collaborations. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, today we have our friends, research friends from many nations coming together, gathering right now in this room. So, well, I am very proud to inform you that we expect 250 delegates to attend this conference, and they are from 60 organizations and universities from total 10 countries, including India, Indonesia, Taiwan, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Korea, the Philippines, United States, Pakistan, and Thailand. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the honor from the President of Burapha University, Professor Sompon Pongthai, to preside over the opening ceremony. So, without further ado, may I now firstly invite Dr. Anat Patana, the Vice President for Academic Affairs of Burapha University, and he is the General Chair of this conference to deliver us with the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Anat Patana. Dr. Anat, and next would be Professor Sompon Pongthai, the President of Burapha University, and also the Chairman of the Higher Education Development Eastern Network to deliver his opening remarks. Professor Sompon, please.
Good morning. On behalf of Burapha University, it is my great pleasure to have an opportunity to welcome all of you and to preside over the opening ceremony of the Burapha University International Conference 2014 on global change, human and spatial impacts, which is held once again here in a very beautiful city. According to the report presented by the Vice President, reflect the leading roles of Burapha University in fostering and strengthening development of higher education in the eastern region of Thailand, where the university is located. And with this conference is to provide a forum for the exchange of knowledge and innovations resulting from research in different disciplines, comprising humanities, social science, health sciences, science, and technology. It also aims to include relevant issues such as liberalization of trade and investment frameworks, mobility and competency of the people, etc., in order to get ready for the rapid changes expected upon the transformation of ASEAN to ASEAN community, which will be in effect next year. As this conference can serve as a platform for capacity building for researchers and participants, I would like to encourage the participants, either in persons or in groups of delegation, to do these best in maximizing the benefits of this true partnership and make possible the sustainability and technical self-reliance stem from the research works. The ability to work and cooperate well in the international arena, such as this, is certainly a value added to our future works, as well as graduates who need to be productive and competitive in the global market. I do anticipate that the deliberation of this conference would well respond to these challenges in terms of capacity building of university faculties and the strengthening of teaching and conducting research in all relevant disciplines to enhance strong academic complementing the initiative for regional and global arena. I also have high hope that the closer academic links developed during this conference would lead to further collaboration and mutual recognition of qualification works amongst participating members in the long run. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Burapha University, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to you all and the organizing committees of this Burapha University International Conference 2014 for all the contribution and deliberations. I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you the successful deliveries in this conference. And at this auspicious moment, may I declare the conference open and wish this conference would fulfill all of its goals set, and wish you have a good time in Pattaya, Thailand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Professor Sompo. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you Dr. Stephen Illian.
I'm actually from the UK. I was born in London and I studied. I'm down on the programme as coming from Edinburgh University, but I haven't been to Edinburgh since I graduated like 30 years ago. I've been a lecturer at Chiang Mai University since 1986, and the talk I'm going to present today is Restoring Tropical Forests in a Warmer World. It's based on research that we've been doing at Chiang Mai University for almost 20 years. We established the Forest Restoration Research Unit in 1994. So this year is actually our 20th anniversary, and we're having a big conference in November 21st is our birthday. So you're all invited to come up to Chiang Mai and join our conference if you'd like to. I'll give you a few more details later on. The theme of our conference is global warming. So I'm going to combine the research we've done on restoring tropical forests with the theme of the conference and talk about how global warming is going to present us with some real serious problems in terms of being able to put the forests back. And of course, forests contribute to global warming when they're cut down, so we do want to put them back to suck up that carbon dioxide that has been emitted not only by fossil fuels but also by the forests when they're cut down. And global warming itself is going to present numerous unwanted challenges to this process. So the link is between the research which we've carried out at Chiang Mai University for the past 20 years with the general theme of the conference. Now, start off with some well-worn facts. Global warming or global climate change is happening to our planet today faster than any other change in the climate has happened in geological history. It's definitely caused by human beings. There are some people who are still living in denial of that fact, but I think it's getting more and more difficult to even entertain the idea that it's a natural occurrence. And it's having a huge impact, not only on human beings, but the whole of the rest of the biodiversity all around the world. This is happening probably most quickly in the Arctic region. We've got a picture of the polar bear there. Living in close to Bangkok, as many of you do, you will have vivid memories of the floods over a couple of years ago. These are having huge economic impacts on our society. And coming from the north, where I come from, one of the major impacts that global warming is having is simply the tremendous increase in forest fires, and the smoke pollution from those forest fires is blanketing Chiang Mai and the north of Thailand it starts about mid-February, and from Chiang Mai, Doi Suthep disappears around about mid-February, and it comes back again magically around about mid-April, just before Songkran. So some more well-worn facts. The predictions by the IPCC, the International Panel on Climate Change, they're saying that with moderate economic growth and rapid adoption of green technologies, things like wind power and solar energy, the temperature is going to go up about, on average, 1.8 degrees by 2100. Many people are arguing that we're pretty much halfway there already, and that we can forget about limiting climate change to 1.8 to 2 degrees increase in temperature. We have to now deal with the reality that it's probably going to go up closer to 4 degrees. So the rapid economic growth scenario is saying best estimate of 4 degrees increase in temperature, ranging from 2.4 degrees up to 6.4 degrees. And of course, I mean, this is almost a platitude now. Urgent action is needed to deal with these unprecedented changes in the environment. Pretty much every speaker who talks about global warming has that sentence in their speech somewhere or another. And the sad fact is that action is not being taken urgently at all. We have plenty of international meetings, and generally speaking, the decision of those international meetings is to put off the decision to the next international meeting, and this has been going on and on and on and on now for getting on for nearly 20 years. If we look at Thailand in particular, you can see what I mean. These data come from Chulalongkorn University. The okay, first use of technology. Right, I'm aiming for the laser pointer. Oh, there we are. It's a rather small laser pointer, but okay. Look at these down here. It's white. Well, these are average minimum temperatures, I should say. Average minimum temperatures. So it's white is 20 to 22 degrees centigrade, and it's going to go 2 bars up because by the end of the century it's going to be orange. So that's pretty much a solid 4 degrees hotter. And if you look at Chiang Mai up here, where I come from, it's going to go from light blue or dark blue up to sort of yellow to orange, light blue, dark blue here, yellow or orange here, so that's another 2 degrees. So this is a conglomeration of, I believe, 5 different computer programs giving these results. So there's a pretty solid 4 degrees centigrade increase, regardless of the global average. Thailand is almost certainly going to get a 4 degrees increase over most of the country. Now, of course, most of this global warming, as we know, is caused by digging up coal, which was carbon that was fixed into the biosphere, into the geosphere, millions, hundreds of millions of years ago, and digging up oil, which is the same kind of material, and burning it and releasing all that carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. That's carbon dioxide that was fixed by plants millions of years ago. But a good 15% of global emissions of carbon are actually coming from deforestation or forest degradation. That's a global average of around 15%. So if we could do something about the deforestation and the forest degradation, this would solve a fairly sizable chunk of the global carbon emissions. And here in Thailand, it's actually 30%. So there's a lot more opportunity here in Thailand to bring down the national carbon emissions if we can tackle this problem of forest deforestation and forest degradation. Now, this doesn't mean that you can carry on riding your motorbikes and riding around in your fossil fuel-driven cars and consuming electricity produced by lignite. That's all fossilized carbon. You can't do much about that unless you take the carbon and put it back down into the oil well, which is not feasible at the moment. But we can tackle the 30%, which is due to forest degradation, and we can do it quite easily. Now, but we're not. So the problem is, this is the deforestation in Thailand. So back in 1960, which is around about when I was born, more than half of the country was covered in forest. Now it's less than a quarter. And when you look at these figures, which appear in newspapers and various reports frequently, what you have to remember is that this 25% is not just virgin, natural, primary forest. It also includes secondary forest, and it also includes rubber. Well, rubber trees aren't a forest. You can't get tigers and elephants living in, and monkeys living in rubber trees. It's tree cover, but it's not really forest. So we reckon that the amount of actual real forest is down here at around 15% now. So if cutting down the forests results in 30% of our carbon emissions, then surely the solution is obvious. All you have to do is to put the forest back. But you're not putting the forest back into a situation where there's absolutely no carbon. If you walk around in these deforested areas, this is a typical deforested area in the north, you actually find a lot of weeds, there's a lot of carbon in the soil. So there's already around about, we estimate, 25 tons of carbon in your average deforested area, including the ground vegetation, and there's a lot of carbon in the soil. But if we can put forests back onto these areas, we increase the carbon storage. Within about 20 to 30 years, we increase the carbon storage up to 150 tons of 150 tons of carbon per hectare. Now, most of that carbon is in the tree trunks. The tree trunks hold a lot of carbon, and also there is a dramatic increase in the amount of carbon that is accumulating in leaf litter and in the upper layers of the soil. So we go from 25 to 150 tons of carbon per hectare. This is a net increase of 125 tons of carbon per hectare. So the question now is, how many hectares can we do this on, and how much carbon can we suck up as a result? Well, a recent report done by the social sciences faculty in Chiang Mai University using satellite imagery, they have estimated that around the country there's about 1.4 million hectares, and that will enable accumulation. 1.4 million hectares of land that's degraded, deforested, that could be restored back to something near to a natural forest. That would accumulate 174 million tons of carbon, and that carbon has a value. The value of the carbon is between 10 up to 14,000 million US dollars. That's a lot of money. And the value of that carbon comes in the form of carbon credits. The carbon credit system works like this. If you have a factory which is producing carbon dioxide, if you have, for example, electricity generation plant which is producing carbon dioxide by burning coal and generating electricity, well, that's putting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. You might not be able to stop burning the coal, but you could suck up the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. On the other hand, we have, like I said, 1.4 million hectares of land, which doesn't have very much carbon on it, and it could accumulate a lot more carbon. So why not pay the farmers to convert that land into forest? The farmers benefit by payments of carbon credit money, so their living standards go up, really for not very much work. I mean, you know, you put the tree in the ground, it grows. If you're going to grow cabbages or corn or something, you have to take care of it all the time. The trees grow, the trees suck up the carbon dioxide. Theoretically, there is no net emission of carbon dioxide. The factory deals with their pollution problem. The farmers get richer, everything's fine. Now, the problem is, though, is getting people to pay for carbon credits. Now, carbon credits at the moment, there's a global market in carbon credits, or several markets in carbon credits, at various prices, depending on whether they are mandatory credits or voluntary credits. And these credits are traded on the global economic markets a good deal. And like stocks and shares, their values go up and go down and can sometimes go